Welcome back. This is the round table, and we are now being joined by Mainda Simataa. Mainda Simataa from the UPND Media Directorate.
No. A media team as well as aspiring candidate.
Okay.
For Kamwala Ward 5.
Fantastic.
Yes, councillor for Kamwala Ward 5.
How is the party doing? Maybe we
the
can start
party is
from there.
strong. The party is strong. We are geared for 2021.
Okay.
But that is not our focus for now. Our focus for now is to ensure to say that we do everything possible for Zambia to overcome this COVID crisis, so that people can get back to their normal lives. Because as you know, there has been a very, very critical social and economic impact that COVID crisis has caused. And many people are out of jobs. Many people are marooned at home. They are not getting any government support in terms of food, which is supposed to be the case, and which our President Hakainde Hichilema has been advocating for. He's been advocating for the fact that the government has to infuse money into the COVID fight, because COVID is not just a health crisis, it is an economic as well as a social crisis. So we are very geared as a party to do everything that we can to assist the Zambian people in this COVID fight, and our president has made donations, other members have been making donations, we've been doing our level best. And it's unfortunate that the PF have decided to politicize this thing with their masks, as you all know. So that is an issue.
Before we delve into the politicization of this fight against the COVID-19, maybe let's talk about the proposal by your president that Zambia should go for a total lockdown. Is this necessary? On one hand, your party was about to launch a countrywide donation of hand sanitizers, soaps, and things like that, which was likely to, defy or flout the public health regulations. Is that not a contradiction?
There is no such position on the UPNG to donate countrywide sanitizers, least of all branded UPNG sanitizers. There is no such position. The position of the party is that the party is going to do all things possible in terms of helping with, like you saw, a material help. Material help that is going to aid in the fight against COVID. You have seen sanitizers being donated, which is okay, soaps being donated, which others have ridiculed because it's able 3/4, but people like Sunday Chand haven't even donated any water to this fight.
His party has donated.
That's a fake donation. Have you ever seen it? It's a fake donation for a fact. It's a fake donation. If you saw the check that was presented by Davis Miller, if I'm not mistaken, it was drawn on a check written Patriotic Front. Where have you ever seen a Patriotic Front bank?
Maybe you saw a dummy check?
That's not a dummy. Even if it's a dummy check, look, all those are dummy checks. You can call them dummy checks. Those placards, you can call them dummy checks because you can't hand it in on the counter. But it is a reflection of the real check, which you must present at the counter for cashing. So that is a fake check. I've never seen a check that is drawn on a political party bank. There is no bank called Patriotic Front. So that is a fake check. This is the politicization of the COVID crisis, which we're talking about. So that check is fake, and under the Financial Services Act, what the PF have done is criminal. They might deceive people who don't know these things, but we have technocrats in the UPND who know these things, and they have told us, and we have seen for ourselves. It doesn't even require for you to be a banker, come on, Comrade Maseko. It doesn't require for you to be a banker to see that is fake, because it was drawn on a check or a bank that is indicated Patriotic Front. Tell me, since when did Patriotic Front turn from a political party to a bank? That is fake. That is playing politics, and it's unfortunate. And this is why our party president, Comrade Hakainde Hichilema, has been on record to condemn the politicization of this thing. And even when other people were calling to say, we have seen that PF are donating masks, what is the UPNG waiting for? Also start producing your own masks with your party regalia.
Is it not because you don't have party material to start?
No, that's not what he said.
Masks?
That's not what he said.
No, I'm saying, is it not because
it's not even because of that. The decision of the party not to start producing masks which are branded UPND is born of two reasons. The first reason is moral. The second reason is medical. What do I mean when I say moral? If you saw the tweet or the Facebook post of our president yesterday, Hakainde Hichilema, he said that we are not going to sink so low as to politicize the COVID crisis by starting to make masks which are branded with our party colors. We are not going to politicize that, and that is the position of the party. Even the Secretary General has that position, and we are all agreeing to that position, because that is taking advantage of a crisis for political mileage, and we are not going to do that. The PF can do that because they've got no morals, and that's what I mean. I say one of the reasons why we are not going to produce a masks branded with UPND regalia is moral. Is a moral on a moral basis. That's what I mean.
Okay.
We are moral people. We recognize to say that we've got a health crisis here, which should not be politicized. Now, the second reason is medical. Did you know, Comrade Maseko, that you just can't get any, and this is coming from medical experts, you just can't get any piece of cloth, cut it in a square, and cover your face and say, I'm wearing a face mask. No. They are what you call ISO standards.
Okay.
Those are international manufacturing standards.
Okay.
Even for masks. There are certain guidelines and standards which you have to follow. And medical personnel, professionals who are also sympathetic to the UPND have informed us to say, can you go there and tell the Zambian people to say you can't just cut any piece of chitenge, wear it. Because that mask has to be medicated, Comrade Maseko. It's not just any cloth. It has to be medicated, and it has to have a certain texture for you to be able to breathe in and out. But at the same time as you are breathing in and out, any bacteria which is either coming from you or coming from the outside must be able to be killed by the medicated substance which is put on those masks.
So are those the kind of masks that your party has been donating?
Those are the masks.
The recommended ones?
Recommended by the World Health Organization. Those are the masks that we are donating. We've been donating, and those are the masks which the PF should buy for everyone. People are in homes that have not been working for 3 weeks, for 1 month. They are poor, they are broke, they don't even have minimum in their homes. The PF received a check of 28,000. Is it 28,000 or 28 million? 28 million from Trade Kings. What are they doing with that money? They should take that money and they can buy masks for the whole country. Each of us can get a box of masks from that very money, and there will be enough change for them to use for by-elections, because we know they want to keep that money for by-elections. So PF must be serious. How do you declare to say that you should use everybody should wear a mask without doing consultation? Without doing consultation on the grassroots to ensure to say that those masks reach people.
When you say they can buy masks for the
every
entire
Zambian
population,
yes.
When you break it down, the 18 against the 18 million Zambians, that would come to about 1 kwacha 50 ngwe each.
Don't think
How
of
much
it,
is a mask?
Don't think of them in those terms. Those things are cheap in China, and when you're buying in bulk. You're not buying at a retail price like you're buying here. Buying one mask for 50 kwacha. It's not like that. There, when you're importing, because we import all those things, we don't make them. They are much cheaper. You can get a whole shipload of masks from China, which you can distribute to each and every Zambian. Okay. That money is enough, and that is not the only donation. Even Bishop Joy Makando donated 100,000. After he donates, you also go and whip his worshippers and say, is that how you appreciate people who are helping you, honestly, as a government? I know I'm digressing, Comrade Maseko, I'm digressing, but it's important to also mention that in this COVID fight, it has been handled. This COVID fight has been handled not in a proper way. Somebody comes, a clergyman, from the tithes and donations of his church, says, I'm playing my part to help you, and gives you a check, a genuine check, not a fake check written on Patriotic Front Bank, which doesn't exist, a genuine check written on Government Bank. He gives you a check of 100 to help you fight. Then the next thing, as a thank you, you go and whip 6 of his worshippers.
Is that what happened?
That is what happened. Unless you are not on social media, because there's no Prime TV now. The Prime TV that we have now is social media. That is what happened, and that is for a fact.
About Prime TV, the closure of the television station is owed in large measure to your president, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, according to now the President Stephen Nyirenda.
That's according to Stephen Nyirenda. That's his opinion. He's entitled to his opinion. But that's not a fact. The fact is that Prime TV has been closed because it is the only TV station which was brave enough to expose the corruption of the PF, number one. It was brave enough to sensitize people on the evils of Bill 10. And 3, it was brave enough to inform the Zambian people to say President Lungu's motive or rather aim of standing as a 2021 president is illegal. That is an illegal thing. That is what Prime TV has been doing all along. And the PF don't like that. And we have seen that there is a precedence in this country of shutting down each and every television station which is perceived to be exposing the PF. It's not about the UPND being covered by the Prime TV. It's not about HDM featuring on Prime TV that they have closed it. They have closed it because free media presents a threat to any dictator.
And
that is how it has always
claims that he was abandoned after helping the party.
We don't know about that. We are not privy to that.
By your president.
We are not privy to that, and I can't comment on that because we are not privy. Mr. Nyirenda might just have sour grapes with the UPND. I don't know. But those are his assertions. We can call them allegations because they are not yet proven.
Okay.
So those are the things, comrade, which we have to be alive to. And if you continue, even yourself, you continue hosting us, and we are talking like this against the PF. Don't be surprised when they knock on your door and say, "Have you paid your license?" These things are happening very soon. I don't know which media station will be available to host the PF. But back to the issue of face masks and the COVID crisis, the UPND is resolved not to politicize this issue because we understand to say that the priority for now is to ensure to say that the lives of the Zambian people are saved, to ensure to say that we stem down infections so that we don't have a crisis. Because truth be told, even with all the donations, with all the money and all the equipment which this Chinese Jack Ma has been donating to us, we do not have the capacity to fight a fully blown outbreak of COVID-19. That's why prevention measures must be done. And we are not against the issue of wearing masks. Yes, give people masks, buy masks for them, because I can't afford a mask. Am I wearing a mask? Mr. Kafumbo is here, was wearing a mask. I don't know how much he bought it at, but I can't afford the mask. And the ordinary people there can't afford the mask. Can people in Mukushi or Shangombo or Sinjembera afford the mask? They can't. What the PF should have done before they made that decree, and I'm calling the decree because it was illegal. Because President Lungu just woke up one morning and said, I think we are going now to decree to say everyone should wear a mask. Where is the statutory instrument where he signed to say now it should be law to wear a mask in public? Where is it? Those are the dictatorial tendencies we talk about, because nobody has asked this question. Where is the law that mandates everybody to wear a mask? I didn't see it. Maybe you saw it. So next time is now going to wake up and say every Zambian should walk without a shirt, because we've been told by health experts to say walking without a shirt reduces the chances of... You get what I'm meaning. So those are the things that we should look at, and there is no way the PF can be making decrees such as everybody should wear a mask when we can't afford masks. Chitenge, PF Chitenges, comrade, or whatever Chitenge, where it is a mask made out of any other material which is not medically tested and medically recommended, that will just be a health crisis, because you are going to wear that thing, you'll be breathing microbes on that thing and inhaling them. At the end of the day, you start getting sick because you are wearing a mask and when so you were safer without a mask.
One more accusation that Mr. Nyirenda leveled against your party is that there is no UPND-run council, which is doing well. How ready is the party to govern?
How can you test us in leadership when we are not in leadership?
You are in leadership. You are running some councils.
Quite all right. But here in Lusaka, I'll give you an example. I am not privy to how other councils run. But here in Lusaka, PF has been in the forefront of poaching our councillors. We had councillors in the Lusaka City Council. PF has poached all the councillors, causing expensive and needless by-elections. So if our council members are going to be poached and bought and paid by the PF, how do you expect us to have a voice in the council?
Do you have evidence to that effect that
they were poached?
They are being bought?
They are being bought, of course. Who doesn't know this? It's politics. I can't give you evidence. If you are always going to say, give me evidence, we are never going to go anywhere in this country, because these people in power, these criminals, they don't give any evidence. It's the same as the issues
that your party keeps alarming the nation with all these allegations.
We don't alarm the nation.
And one of the allegations I'm talking about is the MPs that were, according to Cornelius Mwetwa, bribed, or should I say approached for, bribes so they could support Bill 10.
That's not an allegation.
There was no evidence to that effect.
The evidence was there. If you heard our party spokesperson, he said there are recordings and there is evidence to that effect. And he dared anybody who, like you, to say, if you want, you go, I'll give you his number. I call him. You go and listen to those audios. But the fact is, the point that you have raised about UPND failing to deliver development because we don't have so-called councillors in many council chambers is near here or there.
Okay.
Next year is when you should test us, when we form power, when we dominate Lusaka City Council and all the councils around the country. That's when you should question us on our ability.
You shall know them by their fruits.
Right now we are doing what every opposition should do, and that is to provide checks and balances and to expose injustice and corruption. And our party president, Hakainde Hichilema, has been on the forefront of calling for the end of corruption and recommending economic policies which are going to raise the living standards of the people. But I'm afraid, as we speak now, the economic and social crisis, which is going to be caused by COVID, is worse than the economic crisis which we're in. And this government, as usual, is going to fail to resolve it because they are only interested in elections. And they have even poached 2 of our councillors just yesterday. And you know that is another by-election, a costly by-election. And the money they are going to use is the same money of the donations that they are receiving.
Okay, very quickly, your position on what President James Lukuku of the RPP has said on Chief Chitimukulu. Your party, through Cornelius Mwetwa, has said they will not apologize. But this is your last member.
I'll tell you what James Lukuku himself said about that matter. And he said his messages or his statements must not be construed to be the messages of the UPND.
But
because he is an independent. We cannot comment. He's an independent president of an independent political party. He's entitled to his own opinion. We don't even have the right to comment on that. But if other people are going to construe James Lukuku as a surrogate of the UPND, then they are very mistaken. They are very mistaken because we do not have surrogates like the PF does. We have alliance partners, and our alliance partners are entitled to their own opinion because they, at the end of the day, they've got independent political parties and independent presidents who are entitled to their own opinion. So we can't comment on what James Lukuku said. James Lukuku himself said, take my statements as my own and not those as of the UPND. That is the position.
Okay. Mainda Malambo from the UPND
Simataa.
media team.
Simataa.
Oh, sorry, Mainda Simataa.
Indeed.
From the UPND media team.
Indeed.
I would like to thank you so much for making an appearance on the round table.
Always a pleasure.
I look forward to interacting with you more. Time is not our best ally today. I could tell you have a lot of issues to bring out and energy.
We look forward to coming so that we can continue to inform the nation, direct the nation, and please, to the viewers who are listening to out there, next year, make the decision that is correct. Vote for UPND, vote for Hakainde Hichilema, vote for change. Okay.
In the meantime, stay safe and continue observing all the measures put in place by the authorities.
Yeah, they should buy me a mask. I'm not going to wear a mask for change of PF. They should buy me a mask.
Okay.
Yes.
There you have it. My guest was Mainda Simataa from the UPND media team. We take a break. After this break, I'll be joined by Kasewa Mashila Kasewa, media consultant and analyst. We'll be back.